we knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was no better time than now to tell this story, and no better group of people to do it than the people at Aperio Studios. I think that one of the most amazing and, for me personally, rewarding projects that I've had the privilege of working on here at Aperio Studios was when we were asked to do a review of the timeless classic by D.P. Askew, Rugged Loving in the Alyeska Valley. The book chronicles the trials and tribulations of a young couple from the Midwest who, shortly before the end of World War II, decide to pack up all their possessions and move to the Alyeska Valley, which is a very fertile valley located in Alaska, to start a new life. When we were asked to do the book review by the late author's family, we perused the book for maybe a couple of pages, and at that point there we knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that there was no better time than now to tell this story, and no better group of people to do it than the people at Aperio Studios. So really last year we packed up our equipment and traveled to the Alyeska Valley, which incidentally is an incredible location, and for several weeks basically followed in the footsteps of the young couple, Martin and Andrea, who are profiled in the story. The story itself was just an amazing and inspirational one, and it's one that I certainly won't be forgetting anytime soon. Andrea was right. The day and the scenery were more than beautiful. I wanted to worry about her. It was probably the only book I've read which so accurately and oftentimes brutally captured the everyday struggles of life in a new and often unforgiving environment. And here's the homestead that they ended up getting as a result of that. 1944. Sure, it's dilapidated now, but you can see how 60 years ago this would have been a fabulous place indeed for the two young couples, starry-eyed lovers, to move into. And it still hurt, even so many months later, that one link to our past that we had waited so many months for had been so unceremoniously snatched from our midst. How cruel a hand that fate had now dealt us. I found that for the first several days I found myself totally immersed in the book, drinking it up literally, just trying to get a feel for what it might be like and experiencing secondhand the places, the sights, and the smells of the environment, to really put myself in the characters' shoes. By about day 3, I began to do what so many other people do when they're so involved with a book. I literally began to empathize with the characters in the book and became so totally enthralled that there were times I felt as though I were actually a character from the book, actually experiencing their triumphs and defeats. We read here in chapter 27, when Andrea starts to get frustrated with Martin working at the lumber mill, and some of the excerpts of letters she's actually written to him are included in the book, explaining how she's frustrated with Martin taking a job at the lumber mill and hates what it's done to him. She writes, "Dear Martin, I hate that you've taken the job at the lumber mill, and I hate what it's done to you." The story progressed and became so captivating that I couldn't help but get increasingly caught up in the story, and it was funny, I actually started to question that perhaps I was maybe getting too involved in the book. Where Martin finally proclaims his love to Andrea on this same road that's probably not very much more busier today than it was in his day. And with the gift of hindsight, I think maybe I did get too involved in the book. But I had a very poignant realization about why we do what we do here at Aperio Studios. So why do we do this? Why do we get so immersed in our work? Why do we travel to such far-flung locales that are largely omitted from the mind's eye to tell a story written by a person whom most of us will never meet? Is it for the money? Is it for the recognition? Is it for the fun? Is it for some fleeting sense of glib satisfaction? No, it's all about the storytelling. Because for all the minor inconveniences and irritations that may have happened, we came to realize one simple fact. At Aperio, We're not video producers, we're not editors, we're not writers. We're storytellers. Let us tell your story.